So I just had a big haul of stuff. It's kind of all over the shop right now because I don't have room to put it away. The shop rebuild is still in full swing. The two main things I've got here are this beam and these long pieces of wood from a bed frame. This corner right here has kind of become a cluster of hard to reach stuff due to the shelving unit. So I've seen Bob Clagett, April Wilkerson, and a few other people do these mobile storage carts for scrap pieces of wood. And I'm going to do something similar to this area because this shelving unit has become sort of hard to reach. I really don't grab anything off of here except for the glue and the cleaner. It's difficult to get to. I've got these buckets of stuff that I'm storing. So this whole area needs to become more efficient. It's not going to be a cart per se, but it's going to be a scrap wood storage bin. The main thing here is that it be sturdy and that it fit as much as possible. So it's the next day and I've been having a little bit of an off day, and for some reason I thought that for these pieces up top here that the way to go for the half lap was actually to take off the lower half here and then the upper half here, but then I realized if I did that then it would be like half on, half off, like it wouldn't meet up evenly. It would be not what I was looking for. And I have no idea exactly why I came up with that. So then I realized when I was looking at the second one that I actually need to take off this entire side here, but just half of it, which is what I did with the half laps on the bottom. So I don't really know how I started with this, but at least I wound up coming to the correct conclusion. Looks like it came out pretty darn close. Good enough for government work. Although we try to do better here. So I've got all of the upper posts and rails cut and put together. They fit very nice and tight. And there's a little bit of wiggle woggle here and there. It's not exactly perfect, but it's good. Everything is nice and in line, so it's going to keep the profile thin and give me more room to stack my wood. So now I've got to figure out how exactly to connect the top cross sections. So I cut half flaps on the upper support beams and put them in place, and then marked off how much I need to cut here so that these can slide in. Upper supports cut and notched in. The one problem I know, these came from, you know, the same board, and it's got a twist in it, so they don't line up exactly from end to end. But I'm hoping that some screws will take care of that and make the twist work. So I've been trying to figure out if I could build it in here, because I've cut it up in pieces. Because the problem is, if I put it all together, it's 20 inches narrow, and right here, this is 15 inches, 15 and a half, so obviously it's not going to fit here. And I don't want to move either one of these tables because they're heavy. But it just occurred to me that if I moved the sander, I could fit it over top of both the tables, and from here to here is 31 inches of clearance, which means that I could definitely pull it through. So that's probably what I'm going to do. Since I figured that out, I think I'm going to start screwing this frame together instead of just holding it together with all these clamps. A 1-inch lip for these feet because I didn't want it right on the ground. I wanted it a little bit above. So it's 1 inch all the way around, just to keep it just a little bit off the floor. And everything is screwed in except for this frame right here. The frame is screwed together, the top is all screwed together, but I just wanted to flip this over so that I could screw it in from the side right here. I made the front and back rails and the dividing, the little dividers, and I also made the ones for the sides. But when I was measuring the ones for the sides, down at the bottom I found I had 14.5 inches, and up the top I only had about 13. So being that I need space, you know, that was the one main reason for this thing, was I needed as much space as possible. I put these up here to brace these two posts apart, since, you know, I didn't measure them well enough, and I didn't keep square enough when I was putting it together. But I think that was possibly because of the angle here. I wasn't sure exactly how to do that properly. So I loosened up this support here, and so now I'm trying to figure out if I should screw it all in on one side and then make a spacer up here, or if I should do it half and half. You know, I'll figure it out. So I decided to leave the front as original as possible with the half flaps, and just adjust the back. The reason being is, if I left it in the middle, then I have to adjust both of them. So this way I only have to work on one area on each side. And what I've done is I'm just going to abandon these little pocket areas here, and I've drilled and countersunk another spot for a third screw so that I have a solid connection here. It's never really been about aesthetics, it's always been about storage. So I just need it to be structurally sound. The last thing to figure out is whether or not I need a cross beam going on the underside, which I've already cut, but I wasn't really sure if these little thin, like 1/4 inch plywood or 1/8 inch plywood would be sturdy enough. There's a little bit of give in the middle, so it'd probably be a good idea to go ahead and do it since I've already got it cut. And then that way I can screw all these down in the middle as well and give it some extra oomph. So that way I don't punch through with something that's extra heavy, because there's going to be a lot of wood on this. Yet another miscalculation. I can't quite get the rear against the wall. I can't twist it enough because these shelves are in the way. So I either have to come up with another way to do this, or I have to try to lift the bottom up above one of these shelves. The top of this shelf up to the ceiling is 41 inches, and the rear of this is 43. So I can't lift it up over the shelf. It won't clear the ceiling. So my only other option is this space right here is 15 inches. I need to widen that. On the other side of this table, that space right there is 7.5 inches before the leg falls off of this cement pad. So if I move this entire table over, that should give me a 22-inch gap right here, and this is 22 inches wide. So I should be able to theoretically get this in there. I don't know, it might get stuck again, but I'm trying to move this over a little bit more so I have some wiggle room, but that's where we're at.
Oh, this is white.
A little more.
Alright, that's good.
Alright. Well, moving it from over there to here was not like...
Oh, you know. Yeah.
Just enough wiggle room.
Oh, you have excess space now.
Well, yeah, once it's in here. So it's in place and it does fit. But now the thing that I didn't measure for, didn't account for, yet another thing, is this outlet right here, which is right where the corner is. And there's no getting away from that. And plus I have something plugged in which makes it, you know, even more so in the way because it's stepping out with the plug. So I had just enough room to move with wires. There's 3 sets of wires going in here. I had just enough room to move it from down here to up here. So we should be good to go. Looks like we just need a little shim on the back. have more stuff to put in here, but it's kind of scattered. So it'll filter in a little bit at a time. I am going to put stuff like PVC pipe and these are metal shelving bars. I'm going to put some other stuff in this little one, but the two big ones will mostly be for wood. You know, like all the stuff I put in here is all salvaged. This is all oak from the Friendlies, and this came from from Craigslist. So little by little this will fill up, but overall it fits just how I wanted it to, and I'll be able to store a lot of tall stock.